What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode on the Flawless Empire Tattoo Podcast. Today, we're going to switch it up a little bit because we don't want to be like every other tattoo podcast out there, just talking to tattoo artists about tattoo content. A lot of tattoo artists are considered entrepreneurs and they make a lot of money. A lot of them don't know what to do with that money. Then you want to like buy a house or something and you just don't know the steps to do it because you've been blowing your money your whole life or you haven't been educated. You don't have somebody to guide you. There's a lot of people in our field that are actually younger than me. I'm young. I'm 32, but there's people younger than me making the same amount of money as me or more, maybe the same amount as you. So I think this episode will be pretty good to get some insight on what to do with that money. Now, as far as our guest today, we have the talented Heather Devoto here, and she has graciously taken time out her day to come from McLean, Virginia, all the way to our tattoo shop here. You can probably hear the music in the background, but it's cool. It just creates a little vibe. But yeah, she works for First Home Mortgage, and she has the company record for the highest closed volume, over 1.5 billion in closed loans. She's a 4-time recipient of the Best Mortgage Pro Award for the Washingtonian magazine, and she's a TV host for an Emmy-nominated TV show. And she's been featured on the Travel Channel and CNBC. But anyways, this is Heather here. And thanks again for coming.
Thanks, Eric. It's great to be here.
We've actually done a show together on the travel show.
We did.
Yeah.
So I came and interviewed you about your business, and that was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
This place is so cool, and you remodeled, and I love it even more.
It's changed a lot since then.
Yeah, very sophisticated, but it's got kind of a loungy vibe.
Yeah, just come in, have a good time. You know, as soon as you walk through the door, you should like feel a nice little vibe, feel welcome. And you know, you're coming here to spend money, so it's like feel
And maybe get a
comfortable.
little pain.
And a little pain, but we'll take care of you. You know, we're still trying to get Heather to get her first tattoo. One day we'll get her though. So Heather, can we get a little introduction about yourself other than the awards I just said, and just a little bit of background on you for the audience?
Sure. So I'm a lender, so I help people finance houses. So when you're thinking about buying a house, you call me and I help you get the financing piece of it done. And I've been doing mortgages for over 20 years now. So really long time.
Very successful.
I work very hard. We have a great company, and I work with a lot of self-employed buyers like you. So there definitely are some challenges when you're self-employed.
So I was actually going to ask you, like, what are the main challenges that you see for entrepreneurs like myself when it comes to the home buying process?
Underwriting guidelines. So underwriting is the process of getting the loan approved. And underwriting guidelines are a little bit more strict when it comes to self-employed buyers. So you have to be self-employed for a certain number of years before you're allowed to use the income. You have to have...
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
So it's 2 years typically, and you usually need 2 years of reported income on your tax return.
Okay.
And the tricky part when you're self-employed is you may make a lot of money, but then you might have a lot of write-offs, expenses, advertising, entertaining, whatever it is. And so underwriting looks at the net figure. So if you make 100 grand, but then you write off 50 grand on your taxes, your net is only 50 grand.
Wow. Okay.
Underwriting is only going to use that 50 grand, even though you made 100.
Yeah. I think that was my problem when I went through the process. Like I had the money, but my taxes didn't reflect the money I had.
That's right. That's right. And so sometimes when you're self-employed, your income can be, I don't want to say hidden, but may not be exactly as the tax return shows.
Yeah.
And whether you're doing your taxes or someone else is doing your taxes for you, sometimes, you know, you look for ways to save money in terms of taxes, but then that can hurt you in terms
Screws you in the long run. Yeah.
For your affordability of buying a house. And the other thing is when you're getting a mortgage, they look at 2 years of tax returns. So they look at the previous year and the current year, and they average it. So if you maybe are building your business and 1 year was better than the other, it's going to bring the average down. So that can be a little bit of a challenge.
I think that part messed me up too. Cause so I did like a year of taxes, and then they were like, oh, well, you got to do the most recent year to show that that high income that you say you have. And I was planning on using that money to be like a down payment. So then once that happened, they were like, oh, now you got to pay your taxes. So I paid them. And I was like, wow, that took a big chunk out of my money.
So exactly. So you report a higher income on your taxes, but then you have to pay more taxes.
Yeah.
So then that money that you thought you could use to buy the house is gone to the government.
Yep. And then at that point, it turned into, oh, now you might need a gift to even close out the loan. And I was like, well, like, it was a cool process because, you know, my wife works for the company, so it kind of was easier of a process. Yeah, had an end,
so to speak. Yeah.
But I feel like if I was on the outside looking in and I'm going through all these steps, I'm just like, dude, I'm just keep losing money.
It can be really intimidating and overwhelming. I mean, the biggest thing is if you're, you know, someone that's thinking about wanting to buy a house, they need to talk to a financial expert, a mortgage lender, before they go find the house.
So they will talk to you?
Yeah, exactly.
Prior to like a consultation almost?
Exactly. So they want to make sure that they know maybe they're in the middle of, maybe we're at the end of the year and they're going to be filing their taxes next year. Talk to a lender to make sure they know how that filing is going to affect their affordability.
Yeah.
So just so they're prepared.
And since we're on the tax topic, would you say there's like a tax benefit as far as, you know, owning a house compared to just renting your whole life?
Yeah, definitely. So when you get a mortgage, the government lets you write off $750,000 of mortgage interest. Mm-hmm. So when you're renting, you're paying somebody else's mortgage.
Yeah.
When you're buying, even if your mortgage is more than what your rent would be, when you look at the tax benefit, it actually often is very comparable to what your rent would be. And the other thing is you're building equity just by paying that mortgage. So living in the house, paying the mortgage, it's like a forced savings.
Yeah.
So you're paying principal, which is the balance is going down every month. You are paying interest too, but you can write off that interest.
Yeah.
So
instead of just renting and wasting money.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So instead of benefiting the landlord, if you can figure out a way to get in and buy a house, it's the first step to creating wealth and building wealth. Mm-hmm. So it's really a cool thing.
Now, would you say it's hard to, like, say you have your first house, right? And then you want another house. Would you say it's harder to get that second property or go in a different direction and use that property to like rent it out and then you live in a different property?
It's not hard. The hardest part is saving money, I'd say.
Okay.
Right. So when you're a first time home buyer, there's lots of different programs. So you can do 100% financing. I mean, we're located in Maryland right here. So Maryland, DC, and Virginia all have 100% financing programs for first time home buyers.
Okay.
So that's great. So getting your first house can sometimes be a little bit easier because you don't need as much money.
Yeah.
Buying your second house, you're not going to have a 100% financing option. So you do need to have a little bit more money saved.
Okay.
Typically a 5% down payment, unless you do one of the government loans where you need 3.5% down.
Along with good credit though.
Yeah, you don't have to have perfect credit.
Oh, okay.
That's another thing. You really also do want to talk to a lender to make sure they can look at your credit. They can do something called a soft credit check where it doesn't hurt your credit because people are afraid. I don't want to have my credit checked. It's going to mess it up. Maybe I already have some issues on it. I don't want a lender to look at it. It's going to look worse. Mm-hmm. So we can do something called a soft check where we actually sort of like a screenshot of what the credit report would look like.
Okay.
And then we can go through and advise, what do you need to do? What do you need to pay off? Maybe there's some things that you might think you should do, but I'm going to tell you, don't do that. You know, maybe you think you need to go close your account.
Coach along the way.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. So we can help you figure out where your credit needs to be.
Is there like a ideal credit? Like a range?
I mean, 800 is the top score that you can get, but it's very rare that we see 800 scores. Mm-hmm. Typically, you need to have a 620 credit score as kind of the minimum.
That's actually kind of easy to, maintain.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It depends
I think it is.
Maybe it is for you.
Yeah. Okay.
It depends on if you've been educated on it, right? Like when I got out of school, when I was in school, nobody talked to me about credit. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. I mean, my parents taught me that I learned from my parents. Bills on time, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of times people don't have that education, so they don't really know. And they get out of school and they get a credit card and maybe they get a medical bill that they're not sure who's supposed to pay, so they don't pay it. Next thing you know, it's hitting their credit report and their scores were good, but then it's gone down because of that. So
yeah, or they're scared of credit, because a lot of tattoo artist friends that I talk to, I tell them how I got like these different credit cards for like Hilton or Delta. It's just stuff that I use on a regular, and you pay it off right away, and then you get the points, and it can help you in the long run. But people would think like credit's always a bad thing, and I'm like, credit can help you if you stay on top of it.
So credit's like the American way.
Yeah.
I mean, we are all about credit. I mean, look how much debt this country's in, right?
Yeah.
So we very much are about credit, but the education behind it is where it's lacking. So people don't realize, when I talk to my kids, they're like, just put it on the credit card. And I'm like, you don't just put it on the credit card unless you have the money to pay it.
It sounds so easy.
I mean, it does sound easy, but next thing you know, that bill comes, and if you don't have the money to pay it, it's
interest.
And next thing you know, you're never going to be able to pay off that credit card, and that's where people get into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Credit is meant to be,
almost
used
like a tool.
Yeah, exactly, and it helps build your credit score. So if you don't have credit, you're not going to have a credit score. And if you mess up initially when you're young with your credit, then your score is going to be low, and it's going to take you a while to get it back.
Yeah.
So, but it's good to get a credit card, charge it, pay it off.
Yeah.
Charge it, pay it off. And kind of the rule of thumb with credit is you don't want to have more than 30% of the outstanding limit.
30% of the outstanding limit.
Yeah. So like if you have $1,000 limit on your credit card, don't spend more than $300 on that card.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Even though, why is there a limit if you can't use it? It's kind of counterintuitive, right? I got $1,000 credit card. I should be able to go spend $1,000 on it. But if you do that, then the credit agencies say, "Oh, you're maxing out your credit."
Yeah.
Guess I'm gonna lower your score.
Double-edged sword, almost.
And who tells you about this? Nobody tells you these things.
Interesting.
It's trial and error. Next thing you know, you pull your credit report and you're like, "What do you mean my score's a 580?" Well, all your credit scores are maxed out. So
that's the first time I ever heard about the 30% thing.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes they say 50%. But
that's good, though.
I've been
like
doing
that.
it a long time, so I see. Just keep 30%. That's a good.
It'll keep you grounded a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go over this amount.
Right.
Or I'm going to really mess up.
Right.
Especially when the credit card company is like raising up your limit. So now you think you got like all this money.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the credit card interest rates are so crazy right now. I mean, I read somewhere like 30%. I mean,
yeah,
really, really high.
I've been seeing like 20, like anywhere from 27 to like 30.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So
for a
don't
young
be a fool.
person, for a young person, it's tempting. You want that now, but you need to really be careful.
Now, would you, because you're very successful in your career, do you entertain like the first home buyers, or are you more like a high end kind of clientele?
That's funny that you say that, because probably the majority of my buyers are first-time home buyers.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And now is the market for first-time home buyers, because during the pandemic, rates were, 2, 3, 4%, and people were paying
a lot.
No kidding. $300,000, $400,000 over the list price, waiving all of their contingencies. And if you're a first-time home buyer, how are you going to compete with that? Very hard. Right. Very hard. So
I know we didn't.
Yeah. So a lot of first-time home buyers weren't able to buy then, so they can buy now.
Yeah.
Right. So even though rates are a little bit higher, they're in the 6s, they're still really good. Now's a perfect opportunity for first-time home buyers to hit the market.
We were lucky enough to get a house in the middle of the pandemic. It was like towards the end.
Was it the end?
I feel like it was towards the end. I don't know. It was a weird time. But it was like, I think 4 places that we got outbid.
Yeah.
By a lot too. It was not like 10,000, 15. It was like 80,000.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, we can't even compete with that.
But you're lucky. You only got 4. You only had to go 4 times. Some people were like 10, 15, and they're just like, I give up. I'll just waive all the contingencies.
It wasn't too stressful.
But for a first-time home buyer, that is stressful.
Yeah.
Do I have to waive my home inspection? What do you mean? I can't have an appraisal? You definitely don't want to be in a position where you feel financially
You just feel weird
insecure.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's especially the first time.
And like
I wouldn't want to do this.
I would do a tattoo here, and then right off the tattoo, I'll just hurry up and go meet them at the house or whatever for the walkthrough.
Yeah.
With Kim.
Yeah.
Oh, love Kim.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the first 2 or 3 times, I'm like, man, like you're excited because you're like, oh, I've never done this before, and then you get there, and then Kim's just like, well, I'm gonna just let you know right now that somebody's already 40,000 over. I'm like, well, there goes that house.
So it's very emotional, right?
Yeah.
It's like a roller coaster. So by the time that you decide that you want to write an offer on a house, you visualized your life there, figured out your bedroom, where you're going to put your office, whatever it is. You really have mentally already moved in.
Yeah.
Then you write an offer and you don't get it. So
Yeah.
then you get this
breaks your heart.
let down. I know. And then you go find the next one. And then you do the same thing. And then you don't get it. And then, so it's this up and down and up and down. And it's very emotionally taxing for sure.
As a lender, are you ever involved in that process as far as like going to go see the house or like, you know, seeing the physical house and just everything personal? Or are you just like on the numbers side and just in the office?
I'm very involved with buyers. So I do, you know, from the very beginning before they've gone to see the house. And then they call me once they're about to go see the house. And then after they've looked at the house, and we run lots of numbers and we have conversations that last hours and hours. So I am very involved in it. Unfortunately, I don't get to go see the house.
Yeah.
Because I have to be in front of my computer crunching numbers.
To help the next person.
Right? Just being available all the time, really.
Yeah.
But I don't get to see the house until the appraisal's in. So when you get a mortgage, part of the process is we have to get an appraisal, which is an independent house's worth.
Okay.
And that's when we get to see it.
And do you give like advice? So say like they're, I don't know, let's say you're 3 steps in and you might see like a red flag. Do you kind of chime in and be like, nah, I don't think this is a good fit?
I can't really advise on whether, you know, they should buy the house or not.
Mm-hmm.
If something is brought to my attention, I would tell them they really need to speak to their agent.
Okay.
Because their agent is acting
that's
as
their job.
right. That's their job to make sure. And if there's a home inspection that's been done or whatever, their agent is really the one that is going to help them and make those decisions. I mean, I can certainly give them my thoughts and what other, you know, buyers have done in those situations or how it would affect the mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't really get too involved in, you know, if they should buy the house or not. That's such a personal decision.
Okay. And, you
it's
know,
all great questions.
Thank you. I like how, so, you know, the housing market isn't related to tattooing at all, but you run your own branch and that's almost like running your own shop, and you have to like make sure like everybody's cool, like inside of the, like in your house, pretty much. I call it the house because, you know, it's like a family vibe, but you want to make sure your work environment's
spend
good.
like all your time there.
Yeah. You want to make,
like your family.
Yeah. So I think it's cool that you're able to like run a successful branch, stay busy, because I'm assuming this is a slow period, right? It's a slow period for us for tattooing.
Yeah. So you mean the time of year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So traditionally, right around the holidays, things do slow down. So Christmas is normally slow. November and December, because we have Thanksgiving and then the holidays in December, and January is usually pretty slow. Although this year it's not slow.
Okay.
And I think that is because interest rates came down.
Yeah.
And so the Fed just met. They decided not to raise interest rates. They hinted that there might be some rate decreases next year. So if that happens, then rates are going to come down.
Yeah.
All the buyers are going to come out of the woodwork, whatever the phrase is. Come out of the woodwork, right?
Somewhere.
They're going to come out. They're going to be looking at houses. It's going to be competitive again. It's going to push house prices up. So I think there are buyers that have been sitting on the fence that have decided now is probably a good time to actually do something since rates came down.
Yeah. And
get in before the huge rush.
And what makes them choose you?
Now. What makes them choose me?
Yeah. If you had to take a guess.
Yeah, if I had to take a guess. Well, my experience.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a really long time, as I mentioned, over 20 years in the market.
Yeah.
And I'm very involved with the community. So I know the houses, I know the agents, and I take a little bit of a different approach with buyers.
Yeah.
I've been doing this so long now that I really do it because I love helping people. And so I will spend as much time with somebody as they need, give them advice that I would give my family, right? Making sure that they're being taken care of, making sure they understand the process, going over every single possible scenario and loan and product. and really not looking at it like trying to close a deal, but really,
not looking at like another number.
Yeah. It's really, is this going to be right for you? How can I help you? And I get a lot of enjoyment out of that. Sort of like I don't know, maybe it's the mother in me. I don't know, but like trying to take care of people. So
I think that's a good approach though, because like a lot of people, I would assume a lot of people in your industry do look at people as another number. And like in the tattoo industry, there are artists that look at clients like just another number. Like somebody just come in, another paycheck, right. Another tattoo that costs this much. You're just another soul in a chair, blah, blah, blah. But at least here, we try to make it an effort to like make you feel like you're part of this.
Yeah.
So every time you do come in, you feel like you are part of the like Gremlins family.
Yeah.
And then there are
but also you're very talented. So
thank you.
You've got such a great reputation. I'm sure people also want to come here because they want you.
That too.
And your crew.
Yeah.
You only hire the best.
I hire the best and I hire potential too. So right. Like I just hired 2 people and I can see like where they can be.
Yeah.
And it's
and you can nurture them a little bit.
Yeah, like
guide them,
kind of mold them a little bit. A lot of them
makes you feel good, probably, right?
Oh, it does, because I've seen we have a lot of foreign people here too. So we got like a guy, he's an artist from Nepal. We got 2 from El Salvador, and to see them like come over here and work really hard, but now they have cars and now they're saving up to buy homes and stuff like that. Like this content will help them.
Yeah.
But I talk to them outside of the content, so. Even with our new artists, I tell them like all these little things that they didn't know along the way, and they just feel appreciated that they're learning something at this stage of their career. I mean, you should be learning at any stage. There's always something going on, something new.
Well, I believe that. I believe as long as I'm breathing, I've got work to do.
Yeah.
Right? There's so much that we need to be learning and bettering ourselves.
Yeah. Stay humble.
It never ends.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. So why first home mortgage?
Well, I mean, I get calls all the time from other companies, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know who
I would assume
is.
so.
Yeah.
They know who you are.
Yeah. So we 100%, I believe we are the best in the business.
Okay.
And the main difference between our company, I feel like, and other companies is the owner of my company used to do what I do, right? So he was a loan originator. We always say schlepping loans. Like he knows really what it's like to be out there working with buyers, working with real estate agents. So our whole philosophy is all about the client and as opposed to just a mortgage company.
Okay.
And I think that really makes a big difference.
So he has like the same mindset as you.
Yeah. I mean, and if we hear about a product that we don't have it, we're going to get it.
Okay.
Right. If we just are always trying to improve ourselves as well. And I think that's probably why it's a good fit for me, because I am always trying to improve myself and our company is doing the same thing. So it's all about customer service and being the best.
I believe you told me that you're 100% commission.
Correct.
Base. Correct. So you have to grind hard to.
That's right. Every month you wake up and say, where's my next paycheck coming? Every day. Where's my next paycheck coming from? And that can be really
this lady
stressful.
Works hard.
Yeah.
So being successful at how you are with 100% commission, do you have any advice you would give somebody that is an entrepreneur, or we can group tattoo artists in there too, because they're entrepreneurs too.
True.
But is there anything, it don't even have to be housing related, but do you have something that could help the next person?
So that's a tricky one, because you really need to be a self-starter and self-motivated, right? Nobody's going to be able to do it for you. You have to have this voice in your head that never is quiet. Yeah. And it's telling you, get up every day, go do this. You can do this. You have an inner voice that could be a negative one and a positive one. And you always got to have that positive one a little bit stronger. You got to snap down that negative one.
Yeah.
Right. But you got to want it really badly so that this business is hard. If you're starting a business, whether you're a tattoo artist, whether you're a loan officer, whatever business you're in, if you're the one in charge of making it happen, it's got to be so important to you, because you're going to have days after days where you just want to stay in bed.
I have those days.
Yeah. You just don't want to get up. You just feel like playing. don't want to go face rejection, the people, the hard work. You'd rather go out with your friends. You'd rather go to the gym. You'd rather play a video game, whatever. And you have to say, nope, I'm not doing it. And it's a grind. And if you can just, I mean, I call it grinding. If you can just like an athlete, right? It's the same thing. You got to get up there. I mean, I've heard lots of podcasts with athletes, and they're talking about, you know, I worked out 4 hours.
Their mindset's different.
Yeah. Right.
Just way different.
Those guys are never going to catch up to those big athletes. Same with you. Same with me. If you have people that aren't working as hard, you just have to put in the hours. And on top of the hours, you gotta have some talent.
Yes.
You gotta have some talent.
Yeah. No matter how much you work hard or whatever, if you're not talented, at the end of the day, that will show. Yeah. It's just like, you know.
But there's a lot of talented people who never make it.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the work ethic.
Yeah.
So you really need both to be a superstar. But if you just have really great work ethic, you're still going to make it.
I like that. That was a really good way of answering that question. I didn't think you was going to say all that.
Sorry, did I talk too much?
No, that was perfect.
Okay, cool.
I got one more for you.
Okay.
So in the tattoo industry, the newest thing that's going on right now is like AI.
Yeah.
AI. So basically in our field, I could type in something in this app. I can be like a angel statue with holding a wine bottle.
Yeah.
And with a sky in the background, and it'll draw it up. It'll give me like examples within minutes.
I've seen it.
Yeah. And
it's amazing.
A lot of the older people are afraid of it. They're either, they think it's dumbing down the work because you're just typing it in and it's helping you. But a lot of,
they're not creating it.
Yeah.
The computer's creating an image.
They're so stuck on the old school way. But like, if you're smart about it, you can just use that to help you. You don't necessarily need to copy everything that comes through the AI app. I usually just get like reference pictures and then I put together a whole piece at the end of the day. But my question for you would be, has AI kind of crept into the housing market or the lending process in a way?
The answer is yes, and it's coming.
Yeah.
So we don't really know truly, fully how it's going to be integrated and how it's going to affect our industry, but absolutely. I mean, AI is being used now to help realtors market their houses, right?
How so?
Well, with their listings, you know, instead, similar, like with you used to just create your own, not quite the same, but you had to create your own art piece. They had to create their own listing and the description.
It's still art in that.
Now they can, you know, put it in and it comes up with this beautiful description that they can use. And I'm sure there's many more ways that I don't know. On the mortgage side, it's going to be very involved. We're hearing things like there might be underwriting with AI, there might be processing with AI, which kind of freaks me out a little bit. You know, like jobs security, right? But that's like the whole what's going to happen, not just in our industry, but
it's everywhere.
You know, jobs are going to be replaced by robots, like, and that's, you know, the whole Tesla robot. And
what's crazy because it's not perfect. I see flaws in the AI artwork all the time.
Sure. And even if you know, put in information on fact checking, it's not always right.
Yeah.
So you can't 100% rely on it now, but it's going to get better.
Yeah. Cool. Well, this
was fun.
Sadly concludes our episode with Heather. Heather, before we exit out of the episode, can you let people know how to like get in contact with you, or if they're in the housing market, how would they start the process if they want to like use you as the lender?
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. They would just call me or look me up online, Heather Devoto. You know, you can find anything on the internet these days. So
I looked at it. She has 5 stars.
Yeah, and I welcome everybody. Really,
cool.
It can be intimidating. So you just need to pick up the phone, and we're here to help.
Yeah, just get up off that couch.
That's right.
Get motivated.
That's right. Just do it, as they say, right?
So that's it.
Thanks, Eric.